How to sprout mung beans. First, you need good quality mung beans. I get mine at the grocery store. You want, look at the package, make sure it's not vacuum packed, that it seems to have no black ones or brown ones in there. They should be all green and they're small. Other things you will need something to soak your beans in. You'll need some water to soak them in. You will need a container to sprout them. I find that for a family of 3 to have enough for one meal, this strawberry container works. The thing about it is it has holes so the water can drain through. They have these little holes. And I need a mushroom container because I'm going to put this container in this one, and it just fits, and it's just off the bottom so that my beans don't sit in water. Any water that's residual gets to drain through and not stay. I also need some cheesecloth. You can get it from the grocery store. The thing is, it needs to be lint-free, 100% cotton. You can use it over and over again. They're not very expensive. I use this one. It's all rumpled. It doesn't matter. It just needs to be an open weave. See how the weave is very open? So water passes through, but cotton, so it absorbs water and keeps some of the moisture to keep the beans damp. You don't want the beans to sit in water, but you want the beans to be moist as they're sprouting. So the first day, you're going to take your beans. For my strawberry container, we need to fill it about 3/4 or 2/3 full. So I'll move this camera up just a little bit. So you need about 2/3 of this covered single layer at the bottom. When I did my container, it's about 3 tablespoons. So 3 tablespoons will feed one meal for your family. Since this whole bag of mung beans cost me just $2. 1, 2, 3. That's enough for one meal. I can get quite a few meals for my $2 for my container. So I'm going to real quick go and rinse these, and I'll be right back. So I'm back. See, as you can see, they're wet. They have been rinsed, and I look through them to see if there's any bad ones, any split ones. See one here. I'm going to take that one out. It's just discolored. And pretty much all of the rest look okay. So these here I'm going to cover with water. Cover them with water, and you let them sit for at least 24 hours. That's just 24 hours. So tomorrow at this time, I'll be doing my next step with my mung beans. Hello. Okay, so this is 24 hours later, and if you look at the beans, and see if I can get the reflection not to be so bad, you can see they're starting to open up. You see, the fact is, you can see some little tails in some of those. So we're going to drain these. And then I'm going to take them to the sink and rinse them. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. So these have been rinsed. Now, this is my cheesecloth, and it's wet. Okay, I've got it moist. I don't have it dripping with water, but it is wet. And these are my 2 other containers. This is my strawberry container. What you need is a container that has holes in it, and that it doesn't touch the bottom of the container it's sitting in. There's like a 1/4 inch here so the water can drain as it finishes draining after you get them wet every day. Okay, so I put that in the bottom, and then I put my beans in here. Alright, and let's get them all in there. And then I want to spread them out as evenly as I can. Alright, so there's my beans spread out. And then I'm going to cover them. Alright, cover them up with the damp cloth. And I close my container. Alright, now there's 2 things that got to happen. One, they have to sit out of the light. Completely blocked with light. Alright, so how are we going to do that? Well, I'm going to wrap mine in a kitchen towel. a fairly thick kitchen towel. And then I'm going to put it inside my pantry in the back and close the door. Now the pantry door opens a little bit during the day, not much, but if your pantry door tends to accidentally stay open all the time, find a different place. Put it in a cupboard, in some place that you don't open, that light doesn't get into very often. Okay? The cloth on top will help, but you need it in a dark place. If light gets to your beans, they'll turn green and bitter. Or they might just get a little light and then they turn kind of a pink color. They're not bitter, but they look funny. They taste fine. So if they're a little pink, that's all right, but it's better if they're snowy white. And to be snowy white, they be in complete darkness. So in the morning, you're going to take it out of its complete darkness, go to the faucet, run water all the way through it, let it drain a little bit, put it back in your mushroom container, cover it with your cloth, put it back in the cupboard. In the evening, you do the same thing. You're going to do that for 4 days. All right? It's very important that it gets watered morning and evening every day for the next 4 days. So you might want to set an alarm on your clock, a reminder, something so you remember that you're going to do it before you go to work and before you go to bed. All right? So now it's day 2. I have my bean sprouts here. Water drained off from yesterday. And we're going to open them up. And then I'm going to rinse them. You just run water through them. That's all you need to do. Run water through them. Let it drain a little bit. Close it back up. Put it back in your container to continue to drain. And put it in a dark place with no light. Alright, I've just finished rinsing these. This is Wednesday. We started soaking these on Saturday night. So let's see how we're doing. Got a few beans up here on the outside. Nice long tails. Looking good. I'm gonna spread these out a little bit. Looking pretty nice. So we'll cover them back up. Put them back to finish draining. And put them in the dark. Okay, it's Thursday, and these should be about ready to harvest. Let's give them a look and see. And let's see what we see. I don't know if you can see, but some of these have little leaves just starting to come out. That's my indication that we're about ready to harvest. I'll harvest these tomorrow. In the morning probably. This is the evening watering, and so these are pretty good. We'll probably have tempura tomorrow, though they keep for 5 days. So that's what you're looking for when you're harvesting your mung beans. Good morning. It's time to harvest our beans. Let's see how we know it's time to harvest our beans. We look at our beans. You'll notice that they've started to have little bitty leaves. Let me see if I can show you one. See how it's a little bitty leaf wanting to sprout there? They're ready. Look at these here. They're nice and plump. They have a little leaf. We're good to go. So let's take it out of this mushroom container. And then I'm going to grab my cheesecloth and pull it out of my strawberry container. Now you will notice that they've grown through the cheesecloth. That's fine. What you're going to do is grab a handful and gently pull. And as you pull,
they'll come loose. Now I'm going to put these in a bowl of water because I don't care for the little green shells from the beans. So I'm going to be washing those off. Just grab handfuls, pull them out, throw them in your container. Like I said, it makes quite a bit of bean sprouts. Makes a nice dinner. Let's see here. Takes a little bit to grab them all, but they're not hard to pull or anything. I just don't want to tear them or break them any more than I have to. Yep. Alright, that seems to be most of those. Throw these back in my bowl. And now let's look at my bowl. I'm going to rinse these, and you'll notice that the green husks, they all want to float to the top. So I can just go through and just pick them out. Takes a little bit of time. Now you can eat them. They're perfectly fine to eat. I prefer not to, so I will pick these out. You may wonder how long these will keep. These keep maybe up to 5 days in the refrigerator. You need to keep them cool like any other vegetable. Don't let them dry out. You don't want to keep them in water, but you don't want them to dry out. So keep them in a container that you can seal. But yeah, you have 5 days to use them. There's numerous recipes you can do with these. Experiment. You can eat them raw. They're fine. I like to take the edge off the raw flavor by boiling them for maybe about 2 minutes. Just throw them into boiling water, 2 minutes, pull them out, and it takes the little raw flavor out, which is what I prefer. They're great in stir fry. They're great in a salad. Just very nutritious and fun to eat.